TD, a tutty, taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score a touchdown. You have game lines, passing props, and rushing props. You can bet on the first quarter or first half if you feel like your team starts slow or charges out of the gate. I know how my team starts. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Split the defense.
Split the Defense Leafs postgame presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding area since 2004. I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted in the booth. Game number 2 on the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Thumbs up this episode, subscribe to our YouTube, leave us a comment, and now more than ever, we need you to please download the show in podcast form. Leave us 5 stars there while you're at it. So tonight we have a final score of Leafs 4, Devils 2. Shots were fairly straightforward. Devils 25, Leafs 22. Leafs finally got some goals, 3 of them in the first period. Do we have a first star for tonight, CP?
I mean, we may as well give it to Hildeby on his first official NHL start, getting the win. Looked pretty decent. I mean, Steven Lorentz, maybe a second star there because I love his game. Yeah, good game. I mean, it's funny, you get half the amount of shots, but, 4 goals versus 0 goals like last night. So, yeah, much more pleasant watch tonight, that's for sure.
Absolutely. It was much better. It's probably what I said after the second or third goal. Well, this is better in the first period. And it took them 8 or 9 minutes in the first period, and I was kind of wondering, are they going to score this period at all? Are they going to go 4 periods without a goal this season? But Pacioretty ended up kicking it off first, and then McMahon and Lorentz all in the same period, and then later on in the game, John Tavares put the 4th in. So we have 4 goals tonight. Dennis Hildeby, that's probably a good place to start. He looks like a goaltender that could be the goaltender of the future. He's young. He's got potential. I like having Woll. He likes to get hurt, though. He doesn't like getting hurt, but he does. So it's nice to have this Hildeby guy come in. He's big. He's tall. He moves very well. He's young. Say that again. I like that.
Yep.
It means we got time. He could get better. So, yeah, I like this Dennis Hildeby. What do you think of Hildeby?
I like his game. I think he's much better than the Leafs goalies that we're used to. Compared to Woll and Stellaris, he's a little wilder. But yeah, just a really big body in there, moves across the ice or across the crease really well. It's like you don't want to get too excited about him. I don't want to throw him in as our playoff starter in game 1, but yeah, good to see. It's been so long. Everyone always talks about it. It's like since Potvin, basically, we have never had a goalie that's come up through the system to be a long-term goalie. James Reimer became a great NHL goalie, but not for us. And so yeah, like you said, if it's Woll or Hildeby, I would just like one of these guys to take the crease and be a number 1. So, yeah, it's good to have a few of them in the pipeline.
Yeah, nice to see Hildeby being the guy, and obviously there's Matt Murray in the background too as well, and they've chosen to give Hildeby a chance. Where last year Hildeby rode the pine every time he came up, and if the game needed to actually be played, they made a corresponding move and had somebody else play. So it is promising to see that the organization now has faith in Dennis Hildeby as well, and he looks good. So start off with Patches opens the scoring. Max Pacioretty looking like he's fitting in very well. I'm not too sold on the rest of the team and the lineups as they are. Do you see any of these lines staying put, or do you think every single one of them has the chance to, a good chance to change?
I mean, I feel like you could just leave the bottom six the way it is. I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I don't know what's up with Matthews and Marner, but just like really starting off slow. I know that like Matthews was sitting out because of maybe an injury. I'm not sure. It never came out what the injury was. So like, I don't know, man. It doesn't feel good. I would rather, Matthews pot 4. Well, I don't know. It's also nice getting your bottom 6 going as well. So wherever the goals come from is welcomed. It's just the top 6 isn't really, going for me. And it's funny, like that's the most familiar of the players, I guess, and the lines. So you would think that they would be able to come out of the gates quicker than, a bottom 6 that's, all new guys playing together. So yeah, I guess that's probably my only shakeup. But like, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna swap Willie and Marner again? Like,
wow.
I think that was kind of the beauty of Willie being a centerman to try the season, is because regardless, it was gonna be a whole new lineup, But now that they've just stuck him back on the wing, it's just our top 6 is just what it was.
Do you see Pacioretty moving up the lineup at all?
I mean, sure. I guess if you wanted to, I think that like I like that third line though. Like, there's a lot of speed in the young guys, but then you do have like a veteran presence in Patches who seems to just be laying the body, playing a way heavier game. So I don't know. I kind of like it. If it like I wouldn't. At this point, I'm not stuck on anything. So yeah, like if you wanted to move them up just to maybe shake it up, Nyes is maybe not creating enough for Marner and Matthews, but that's supposed to be Matthews or Marner's job. So like I don't know, shake it up if you want, but I'm just really impressed with the bottom 6. Just to get scoring down the lineup is important, especially in the playoffs. You need to have scoring. And my boy Lawrence, like I was saying 5 goals, he already gets one in game 2. Maybe he does get closer to that 10 game mark or 10 goal mark, but yeah. And to be honest, like you asked me about Pacioretty just to like specifically too, like he looked pretty good and almost quicker on a second night of a back-to-back. So, that's kind of promising. When I'm really keeping my eye on him if he, slows down because, obviously from his history.
His history, his age, yeah. Those are factors you definitely have to look at. But he's looked good, and he can produce, and he can shoot the puck, and he knows where to be. He's got that offensive instinct, and you can just tell he knows what he's doing. He's got poise out there, and so I'd like if we're going to make a mess around of that top 6, which we'll get into here in a second, I think Patches could be the guy to take over. I think that's where we'll go next, is Nyes on the top line. How do you feel about Nyes on the top line after watching him through the full preseason, because that's where he's been the whole time, and now 2 games, back-to-back games? How do you feel about Matthew Nyes, and what did you think of the cold shoulder on Dougie Hamilton?
Man, I love the cold shoulder. He ran through Dougie Hamilton like he was a running back running through a safety. It was beautiful. And I mean, I think Matthew Nyes is kind of just figuring out that he's so big, and like he's like massive. He hardly has a neck. He's so huge and strong. So I think that he should do more of that. Just, lower the shoulder. But him in general, I mean, he hasn't like blown me away. I think he scored in the first preseason game. He's been okay. And I just like Berube's been very forward about working in pairs, and that if he's going to make a switch up, then it's going to be the second, or the third guy on the line, and he's happy to move things around. So, I'm assuming that's Matthew Nyes. I don't think he's the guy he's paired up with Matthews for the whole year. So, I would assume that he does move down. The nice thing about him is he's such a big body. Like, you could play him on all 4 lines. He's still, like, he's quick too. So I'm not worried about Matthew Nyes. I'm worried about the other guys getting going. So if that's what it takes, then sure.
Fair enough. What about Bobby McMahon tonight? Bobby McMahon sits out the first game. Bobby McMahon last year comes in, scores 15 goals by the end of the year, has a hat trick one time. Just an absolute phenom. He was the love of the land for a good 3 months in Leafs Nation here. And then he's scratched for the home opener and kind of a fringe guy in the new coach's eyes. And he gets put in tonight and he snipes one. And I'd like to add this fourth line with the Bobby McMahon, Ryan Reeves, you're great and all, but you're washed, bud. We're done here. It's over. The whole Ryan Reeves thing, you're not Ryan Reeves of the past. You're not. Let's make him an assistant coach for fuck's sakes. He's just not the same guy. Bobby McMahon with David Kampf and Steven Lorentz is going to be a terror. It's going to be like when we hated Tampa's fourth line. It's going to be like the Boston fourth lines. It's going to be the fourth lines that we always wanted. I really, really like those guys together.
I mean, I hope so. That'd be awesome. But I do like it too. I mean, the thing about Ryan Reeves is really he's just in there. It's nice having the best fighter in the league in your lineup. I'm just not sure it's necessary with this team anymore. There's a lot of guys that are more than willing to drop the gloves as necessary. And there's no just big heavyweight matchups anymore. This isn't the 90s. It's not the 80s. I don't know. I think that he's a good guy to have.
But he's just not the same player he was before even. He's more mature and his game has developed differently. He's just not he used to be a bit of a menace, running around and doing stupid shit. And now he's really honed it in because he knows he's got that respect that he can kick your ass. But you just don't see that from Ryan Reeves anymore. He's not the Ryan Reeves that I think we were expecting to get.
Well, I mean, I think he is the Ryan Reeves we were expecting to get. We had one year of him playing 60 games or something. I think most people kind of were writing him off before that contract even started. So, I think we got a year out of him. If he sits a lot, it's no big deal. I think that his contract's basically
he's no big
fully
deal.
variable. So,
100%.
And the fourth line in general, I think has just been working. I think
Bobby McMahon.
They really won their minutes. Bobby McMahon, he brings a lot of speed. I wish he would provide a little bit more physicality. He doesn't finish checks like Lorentz does, that's for sure. But he's kind of like the Engvall experience of almost big for nothing. But he's very fast and he gets it, he can get into the dirty areas sometimes. So I think he's much better.
He's definitely
than
not
Reeves.
as soft as Engvall. That's
no, not as there was an extreme comparison. I just there
really
are
harsh.
a lot of opportunities I think for him to lay the body, and he just doesn't. It's not part of his game, which it doesn't have to be. It's just I feel like with Berube, he's going to be harping on him because he's already mentioned it a few times about being Bobby McMahon needing to be a power forward. Not necessarily what I've seen from him, but it can change. He can learn from the coaching and possibly he is a guy that saw himself playing up the lineup more earlier in his career, and if he's seeing himself more as a fourth line guy, you want to really turn into one. So maybe he can do that. So
fair enough. So John Tavares scores a goal tonight. The rest of the core four is been pretty quiet, but Johnny Boy's looking good tonight on a walk-in snipe goal. Apparently they're in contract talks with John Tavares. And I have no idea what that number would be, but would you care to speculate on what you think John Tavares would be worth?
I would love to speculate. The thing with John Tavares is he's locked himself in as being the Toronto boy. There is zero way that guy wants to walk out in free agency, move his family out of Toronto. That was the whole point of coming here. He got a massive contract. He's made over $100 million. Sign for $3 million, man. Just sign the contract.
$3 million, yeah.
Yeah, $3 million sounds perfect.
Take the Pacioretty deal.
I mean, that's extreme. If he's gonna serve as a second or third line player, He's an elite
No,
third
he can't
line,
be
I
a
think.
second line player anymore. Yeah, he's got to
like,
be a third line player.
Yeah, for $3 million, that's a fair price to pay, you know. And I think he'd be one of the better third line players as he adjusts his game. So come on, man. Like, I would love for him to sign that. Whether he will, I don't know. Like, I feel like I
think 4.5 he'll probably get something like that.
possibly. I mean, it's definitely a discount
5.
from the 11. 5 we're pushing. Like 6, it can't be 6. Like if
that's going to be somewhere else. If it's 6, he's not playing in Toronto.
No, like I think 5.5 is probably what he would get like on free agency. So like you should get a massive discount from that. So like, yeah, I think 3 would make everybody happy. Even like give him like 3 times, 4. Like I don't know, like even if it was a contract that you don't love maybe at the end, but it's not like doesn't ruin your team. Yeah, like I think it could give him a few more years of term as well.
Yeah, because he's definitely still a useful player. Definitely still has value. He's not like a league min after this. They're gonna get another contract, and if he's willing to move, he could probably sign for $6+ million on a 1 or 2 year deal. Maybe probably 5.5 or 5 on a longer deal than that, because he's only 34. He's not even 35 yet, 33 or 34. Right. Yeah, he's like so
5 times 4 maybe he would get somewhere else like $20 million. Maybe. But you know, like I'm offering you 12. Is that so bad?
You get to stay home.
Yeah,
you're already rich, so rich.
Yeah, you're gonna save all the money on the plane trips you'd have to take back to Toronto anyway. You know, I think just sign for low. Same with Marner. Yeah, Marner, you sign for $3 million too. That'd be great.
Oh God, that's a conversation we're gonna have to get into as the season comes along, because he is eligible for a contract, and apparently that won't happen until the end of the season. That's just gonna be an absolute shit show. But anyways, why don't we hear from our sponsors at Game Time before we move on here? What time is it? Game time. Hockey is back. Whether it's crashes in the corners or stick taps on the boards, the sound of hockey gets me excited to get out to a game. And when I buy my tickets, I use Game Time. Game Time has tickets to all events, not just sports. And when searching for tickets, I look through the super deals or even the amazing deals icons, and I know I'm getting the best deals possible. Plus, check out Game Time's new feature called Game Time Picks. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats. The best feature, though, is Seat View. I love this feature. You can get a panoramic view from your seat before you even buy. The best part? No surprise fees at checkout thanks to their all-in pricing feature. Lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. They offer event cancellation protection and even job loss protection. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create account, redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Nick Robertson. That guy is looking fresh. You know, thought it was the preseason. I wrote him off last night, one game. Excuse me. Nick Robertson, though. That guy's on a tear. He looked strong tonight. He is a man on a mission. He is a dog looking for his bone. He is many other things that I can't think of off the top of my head. But he is vicious out there, man. He looked really, really, really good tonight. And it's not just the offense that I'm talking about. It's the forechecking, it's the back checking, it's the stick, it's the way that he uses his body. It's the way that he keeps himself out of the shit now. Remember when he used to put himself in very vulnerable positions? I watched him several times and I was thinking, why don't you go, oh, well, you're right. That guy's massive. That's probably a good call. Don't get in between him and the boards. No, good idea. Right? So, but he's figured that out. He's really, really solidified and rounded out his game. I'm loving Nick Robertson. Again, another candidate to be pushed up into the top 6.
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but like I do like his game. Like even on the Pacioretty goal, like he's the guy who splits the defense, gets behind the net, makes like the pass around to. He doesn't get a point on the play, but he's the one that creates it, gets it in deep. So, yeah, like I do like his game. I think he should have a point by now by his effort level. But yeah, I think pushing him up the lineup, I'm not like super comfortable with. I think you should like let him, develop as this third line kind of it seems to be a safe place for him. But yeah, not sure I want to push him up. Very happy with his game though. Like you said, he's playing much smarter. If you watch all 82 of our post games last year, you'll see my attitude towards Robertson changes as he like learns how to play the game the right way. And by the end of the season, like I felt like he was really figuring it out. And coming into preseason, it seems like he's really got it figured out. So yeah, I expect that kind of to continue as we've like seen this growth over time. I kind of get sick of people kind of writing off his season last year, saying like, "Oh, he was so immature" and all this stuff. And it's like if you really were watching, you would see the development of what he was doing. So yeah, I've turned into a full-fledged Robertson believer at this point. So yeah, I really want them to keep him around but yeah, I think it's just a third line is perfect for him because like if he could score some goals from there, then I think that's a comfortable spot. Putting him against better competition on the second or first where there's a little bit more of a get in there and get the puck position that would be available for him. I'm not sure that's him. Like he can be like the trigger guy on the line, and like in a guy that's fast and can get in on pucks, but to really be like the first forechecker every time and all your job is to feed the puck to Matthews. I don't know if that's him.
Yeah, that's fair. He does look really good in that third line spot.
Yeah.
I will give you that. So 7 straight wins against New Jersey. Did you know that? Heard that near the end of the broadcast tonight. 7 straight wins for the Leafs against the New Jersey Devils. And Keefe made some comments before the game today when he was interviewed, or maybe it was even yesterday. I think it was this morning. And he said that this is the best team the Leafs have ever had.
I saw that, yeah.
How much of that do you think was protecting his own reputation? And how much of that do you think he fully believes?
I mean, I agree with him. I'm not sure it's like they're so much better that like it's, I'm yelling from the rooftops, but right before the game, they interviewed him again and he mentioned that like just the defense is just way better with Tanev and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And like, I agree. I think there's a little bit of pumping it up, like just in case they're just amazing. It's like, well, I said they were better, but I also feel like, he's not lying. It's just he might be stretching the truth a little.
Do you think he knew that the New Jersey had lost 6 in a row and he's like, well,
oh yeah,
that's not good for us. So the Leafs are probably going to beat us. So I better say something about how good they are. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like Keefe is just a stats guy, so I guarantee he knew that. He's a guy that's like, there's not a stat that he hasn't looked at before a game. So, but like, is that the reason he made the comments? I'm not so sure. The thing is, New Jersey is a different team this year. They didn't quite show it tonight against the Leafs, but I think
they're in the real NHL.
Almost everybody is picking this team to go to the Cup, like at least to make the playoffs and make a run. I mean, I think they're still a really young team, and it's a little early, but they're a good hockey team. So I think like tonight is a really good team, and it's like 7 straight. Like I'm not sure that the 7 games previously were as good of a New Jersey Devils as we saw tonight, but.
No, and one of those games was the night when all those goals were called back. Do you remember that game?
Oh, my God,
it was like 3 goals called back in one game, yeah. That was one of those wins for the Toronto Maple Leafs against the New Jersey Devils in the last 7 straight meetings they've had. So, Justin Miller is here in the comments. What's up, Justin? Some interesting penalty calls and no calls tonight. And I agree. Can you tell me, CP, what is a pick anyways?
Yeah, I mean,
can't
I think
tell anymore.
If you don't have a stick, you can't set the pick. If you have a stick, pick away.
But if you're Justin Hall,
Well, I mean, yeah, Justin Hall, it's always a pick, I think. But,
Okay.
but yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out the rules.
I mean, like, I don't even know what the point is about talking about the rules because, like, no one knows. I mean, unless it's just to say that like the refs suck and the book sucks. How they
No, I
call
think-
games suck. I don't know.
I
Like,
think the refs kind of suck tonight, and I don't want to ref bash too much,
Nah.
but
I wouldn't say they sucked. Like, I didn't like. I
Oh,
felt like there
buddy,
was a
it
lot
was-
of penalties. You know, like there was a tripping penalty. We got away with one with Matthews. I felt like they called one on the New Jersey that we didn't deserve. But like there was a lot of tripping penalties, like the roughing penalty by Benoit. Like that guy's being an idiot. Like why are you taking that penalty? I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, that wasn't even that bad. That was kind of a soft penalty too. And then there
If you're
was whatever that pick was called on, whoever it was called on the Leaf player, and then later on in the game, Marner
was
literally
Benoit.
runs into a guy who sets a pick, and it's no problem. And,
But it's a
they called
second-
offside. So
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, no, like, are you kidding me? Like, what even is a pick anymore? Like, I don't even know. They were so inconsistent. It was like you see a slash on one end, they called it a slash, and then like 2 minutes later, you see a slash again, the other end, different player, could be the same team, could be a different team, and that same action is not resulting in a penalty. It was just complete inconsistency tonight, and I guess it's really early for the refs too.
I that's game management. Like this is just how it'll be in game 3 and 4 and 5. There'll be plays that might be a penalty, might not be. Like I think Justin's right too about the Nylander could have picked up an extra one for
That's
when he
true.
did get a
We
penalty.
get that.
Yeah, so like I don't know.
Slap
Like,
shot down the ice by William Nylander in frustration after taking a 2-minute penalty for what was holding, which was another, again, debatable. It was close. You know,
No, that's a
think
penalty.
Yeah,
I'd call
he
that
did have
every
his
day of the
other
week.
arm out. I mean, yeah, I guess he was kind of hooking around him a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was close.
I don't know. I think that if you were like we could make a segment on the show like the Leafs or the refs suck. The Leafs suck. Oh my god. Don't clip that one. Holy shit. The refs suck. I mean, you could probably make a segment too of the Leafs suck. But yeah, like because like I don't know, I could find a spot in every single game where a ref sucks. You know, they also they sometimes make the right call, but also they missed a million if some calls are called. So yeah, I don't know. It's I have trouble talking about them because they suck. They sucked tonight and they'll suck tomorrow. They sucked yesterday probably. Like yeah, it's just a stupid rule. And actually it's funny because I get so mad at umpires in baseball. It's because it's a very clear defined rule of say the strike zone or out or not. You know, in hockey, it's just such a gray area. It's just up to the judgment of the ref. So it's hard for me to get mad at them because the ground rules suck. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they're giving too much leeway, too much too much.
Also,
of a
I don't want the
broad
whole book
spectrum.
called though, because if you called every penalty in the book, there'd be a million whistles, or everyone would learn and the game would just be boring.
I don't
and
want
soft.
every penalty called in the book, no, but I want consistency. That's all I want. It's just the same things to be called, right? If
Yeah, I
something is
agree.
a penalty once, it should be a penalty later on in the game. That's it. That's all. How about Chris Tanev? Good as
that
Tanev
guy.
Riley pairing. I don't think we're going to really need to talk about Morgan Riley and who's going to play with him very much this season. Let's just hope that Chris Tanev does not get hurt because Morgan Riley and Chris Tanev seem to be steady Freddy.
I mean, Chris Tanev made multiple zone entry breakups tonight that I was just he makes so many plays that just go unnoticed. They're never going to be on a highlight reel, but they're what are so important for your number one shutdown defenseman. He's got a great stick. He really gets the body in front of players. He's everything that I've ever wanted in a shutdown defenseman for a partner for Riley in particular. You said it well. It's funny because everyone talks about the injuries. He has played a lot of hockey, you know, he's played he played the full COVID season. And then I think he's missed maybe 40 games total in all of the seasons up to that. So like, if I get 65 games of this guy and then he's ready to go in the playoffs, like I'll sign up for that for what we've paid him, no question.
I'd be happy with 65 games too, because it's funny. We have two guys on this team who are kind of like a hybrid position. So we have Anthony Stolarz. He's a goalie who thinks he's a defenseman. So he's skating out of the net, doing his thing, playing the puck all over the place, like holy shit. But then we also got Chris Tanev, who's a defenseman, who thinks he's a goalie and just gets in the way of all these shots and definitely is going to get hurt at some point because of it. So 65, that's a great number. I would love to see 65 games from Chris Tanev.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to rap about on this game?
No, I think we covered it all, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to be back on Saturday against Crosby and the Pens, Kyle Dubas's built Pittsburgh Penguins. That's a wrap for now. Thanks for joining us on Split the Defense Leafs post game, presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding area since 2004. We appreciate your comments. Hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, tell your friends, download the podcast, rate it 5 stars, all that good stuff. And until next time, peace.
Peace. Go Leafs.
Peace.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, me too.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_show.